Hello everyone, this is Professor Anil R. Chinchawade, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, WIT Solapur. Today in this session, we are going to continue with the topic inheritance and interfaces. So the learning outcomes of this particular session are as follows. At the end of this particular session, students will be able to create interfaces in Java programming language and use these concepts of abstraction in solving the real world problems. This is the continuation of earlier session. In the earlier session, we have seen how to create interfaces and we have seen a implementation. Now in this particular session, we are going to see the relationship between classes and interfaces. As given in the diagram, the class can extend another class, which represents the inheritance relationship, where one class extends the properties of another class. In the second example, we have a class implements an interface, and as a third example, we have interface extends interface. Here, one class is extending another class, and interface is also extending another interface. So this is where extends keyword is used. On other hand, if a class implements an interface where interface is providing some of the abstract methods to implement, and the implementing class will implement all those abstract methods. Let us see some of the examples for understanding the relationship between classes and interfaces. In the first example, we will see how a class implements an interface. Here in this, I am taking the example of banking domain. So let us open Eclipse and see these particular examples. So as we can see, we have an interface called banking interface, and we know that every interface provides us with some of the abstract methods. So in this particular example, we have abstract method like set interest rate, get interest rate. Another one is calculate interest rate, which is taking two parameters. One is the principal amount and second one is the number of years. Now we have an implementing class called SBI Bank. So I have taken the examples. As an example, I have taken SBI Bank and another one is Axis Bank. So here in this particular example, the class SBI Bank is implementing the banking interface. So it is the responsibility of SBI Bank class is to implement the abstract methods provided by banking interface. We have a instance variable called interest rate of type double in SBI Bank class. Now SBI Bank class has overridden the abstract method given by banking interface, and the method name is set interest rate, where I have taken an example of setting an interest rate to 5.6%. So this is how an implementation is provided for set interest rate by SBI Bank class. There is another implementation for get interest rate. We have another abstract method called get interest rate, for which the SBI Bank class has provided an implementation. So here this particular method is simply returning the current interest rate, that is set. We have one more abstract method provided by an interface banking, and that is calculate interest, which is taking two parameters. One is P, stands for principal amount, N stands for number of years, and it is returning the interest rate calculated using the standard formula. Now this is how the SBI Bank class is implementing the banking interface as per its requirement. On other hand, the Axis Bank, this is another bank which is again implementing the banking interface. Now this particular Axis Bank class also has an instance variable called interest rate. Now Axis Bank class will implement set interest rate, get interest rate, and the calculate interest as per its own requirement. For example, in set interest rate for Axis Bank, the interest rate is considered as 5.9%. So here the implementation of set interest rate by Axis Bank is bit different from SBI Bank. Now similarly, the get interest rate is returning the current interest rate that is set to Axis Bank. Implementation for calculate interest method as per Axis Bank's requirement. Here interest rate is calculated as per the standard formula, but Axis Bank wants to provide some of the additional facilities, such as if the interest rate calculated by this particular formula is greater than 5,000, then they want to provide some benefit like standard deduction of 500 rupees. So Axis Bank wants to give this particular facility to such customers who are paying the interest more than 5,000. So this is how calculate interest is implemented for Axis Bank class. So we can see that we had an interface called banking, and banking interface is providing us with 3 abstract methods, and the implementing classes such as SBI Bank and the Axis Bank are implementing those abstract methods provided by interface as per their requirement. So as an example, we can see I have a main method here, and I am creating a object called B1 of type SBI Bank, and then I am calling the set interest rate method. So obviously this particular will call the implementation provided by SBI Bank class and sets the interest rate to 5.6%. After that, we are calling the another method called calculate interest rate, providing the principal amount and the number of years. So accordingly it will calculate and print the interest rate calculated by SBI Bank for a particular customer. Here we are creating another object called B2, which is of type Axis Bank, and again we are calling B2 dot set interest rate. This will call the set interest rate implementation provided by Axis Bank, and this particular will set its interest rate to 5.9% as per implementation provided earlier. Now after this we are calling calculate interest rate, providing with amount of 12,000 and 5 number of years. So accordingly, as per the calculation given and the implementation done by Axis Bank class in calculate interest rate method, it gets calculated and it is gets printed. So let us run this particular code. If I run it, I get an output like interest rate amount from SBI is 3,360 and interest rate from Axis Bank is 3,540. So we can understand that how a class can implement the interface. Now we can see that I have a player interface. So this particular player interface is providing me with 4 abstract methods such as play, stop, pause and reverse, and all of these are abstract in nature as they are written inside the interface. Now I have another interface called recorder, but here you can see that interface recorder is extending the another interface called player interface that we have discussed earlier, and it is providing an additional abstract method called record. We have a players demo.java file so that we can demonstrate the relationship between classes and interfaces and the relationship between interface and interface. So here I have a main method. So let me first show you the main method of this particular class. So what we are doing is we are creating the object of DVD player, CD player and tape player. So these are 3 classes of which I am creating the objects such as P1, P2 and P3 respectively. So I have a class called DVD player which is implementing a player interface. So obviously the player interface is providing me the 4 abstract methods. So my DVD player has a responsibility of implementing those 4 abstract methods. So I have taken a simple example where the implementation for play method is providing me a message as playing DVD player. Stop is another method which is provided by the player interface, and we have provided its implementation with a message as stopping DVD player. Similarly, for pause, we are having a message called pausing DVD player, and also for reverse we have a message called playing song in reverse through DVD player. So this is how a class called DVD player has implemented all the abstract methods that are provided by player. This CD player class has implemented as per its requirement, such as for play method it is providing messages playing CD player. For stop it is giving messages stopping CD player. For pause it is saying pausing CD player, and for reverse method it is giving messages playing song in reverse through CD player. And the class called tape player is implementing the recorder interface. So it is the duty of tape player class is to provide the implementation for all the abstract classes all the abstract methods that are provided by player and recorder interface. So here the tape player has provided implementation for play with message playing tape record, for stop with message stopping tape player, with pause having a message as pausing tape player. Reverse method has an implementation of playing song in reverse through tape player, and also it has given implementation for record method and messages recording song in tape player. So this is how the tape player class is providing implementation for all the abstract methods provided by recorder interface and the player interface. So here in the main method I have created the object of DVD player, CD player and tape player. So now if you see, if I click P1 dot and if I wait for some time, it provide me with the options such as the object of particular DVD player has an access to pause, play, reverse and stop, which are implemented by DVD player, and they were provided by player interface. Similarly, I can call any one of them as an example. Similarly, P2 has an access to all the methods which are implemented by CD player, such as pause, play, reverse and stop only. So I will call one of them as an example. Now look at P3, which is an object of tape player. So it has an implementation for 5 abstract methods. So we have an option called pause, play, record, reverse and stop. So here one more additional method is implemented by tape player, as it is extending the recorder, as it is implementing the recorder interface. Now this is how you can create the object of class and call the respective methods. Now if I run this particular file, I will get the output such as playing song in reverse order through DVD player, stopping CD player and recording song in the tape player. So this is how we are getting the output for P1, P2 and P3 object, respectively calling reverse, stop and record methods. So this is how we can represent the relationship between classes and interfaces. So let us test ourselves. So how many classes should a program contain to implement multiple inheritance? So pause the video, think and answer. Obviously the answer is at least 3 classes are required, because 2 classes will act as a parent class and 1 class will act as a child class. Now child class, if child class is trying to extend class 1 and class 2, that becomes multiple inheritance. Second question, which programming language restricts the use of multiple inheritance? think and answer. Pause the video for some time. And the answer is Java language. Thank you all for listening.